All right, so astrology time. Shane here, daily-astrocat.com. We're going to try to keep this a little on the short side. It's Thursday, the 13th of November, and the moon is in Virgo all day long. Oh, man, details matter, and they seem to be conveniently left out somehow. This is not going to sit well with us mentally or physically, because Virgo tends to worry about these things, right? Look, left out details, right? I got a question for you. During government shutdowns, does Congress get paid? Now, they should be the first ones to be without a paycheck. Don't you think that would happen? It would get resolved quicker that way? I do. So, look, and here's another question for you, and this is not a political question. This is just a question that's like nagging. It's a Virgo question. Virgo questions need to be asked, otherwise we're going to be upset, right? Yeah, you want to make sure that you do that. So, and believe me, during a Virgo moon, we all get just a little bit of that natural curiosity to us that we're just like, okay, let's talk about this. Okay, so, look, how does a shutdown even happen if one side controls all the levers of government? That's a good question too, right? Now, with that, not to get political, not to do anything like that, but I'm not looking for answers here. I'm just asking the Virgo questions, okay? These are the questions that the Virgo wants answers to. And guess what? Going to be upset because you're not going to like the answer, right? Yep, that's what happens. So I'm just, look, this applies to my 3D life as well, okay? There's questions. The Northern Lights. They've been appearing for a couple of days. It's been cloudy here, okay? Can't even enjoy that. Look, they're beautiful. We had them last fall, right? Got to see them last fall. This last spate of the big solar flares and everything like that have accompanied this, the Mercury opposing Uranus and the Uranus retrograde and Mars opposing Uranus and all this nice stuff. Yeah, we're not getting that, right? So, by the new moon. Okay, so let's do this. Actions are feeling somewhat curtailed as both the mission of Mercury and Mars are kind of on standby, right? Because that moon in Virgo is squaring both of those. We have Mercury retrograde, which, the moon's squaring it. We rely upon intuition. Intuition tells us something totally different, okay? It's not what we're seeing in the news. It's not what we're feeling. It's not what we're being told, okay? We're going to get to that. And Mars, the actions and stuff like that, until we get the answers, it's kind of on hold, right? Because if we don't get the answers, how do we move forward with conviction, okay? By the new moon next week, this is going to be all cleared up because we're going to find what it is, what the mojo is, right? If we find the mojo, then we'll be able to do it. But today's keyword is cloudy. All right, so, and the color is gray clouds. Now, we want answers, and the moon in Virgo is our go-to forensic investigator. Except the tools of the trade, logic, intuition, and the use of technology are all not very cooperative. This makes the scene feel like it's been tampered with. None of what they are saying makes any sense. The investigators and the perpetrators, right? Maybe they're one and the same. This kind of has some vibes to it, right? Now, but if you tell your story enough times, okay, it takes on a life of its own. That's right. So, we await the arrival of personal news before we can definitely move forward. This is how we're feeling, right? This is how we're feeling. There's things that are happening around us that we expected that aren't happening. There's things that are happening around us that were unexpected, and yet we have no idea what the full ramifications are. This is getting very personal. So, when the investigator is upset, gastric distress is sure to follow. No answers, we're merely waiting. Sure, the shutdown is over, but the finger pointing continues. More noise, more static, and obfuscation. It is nonsense, and the mechanism that used to keep us in check has been eroded almost to oblivion. That's right. Writing skills, here's a big pet peeve, are almost non-existent as a glut of AI-produced garbage is the new microplastics of the literary and mental seas. Okay. Tell you where I'm going with this, right? Look, 10:47 in the morning, the moon enters its sextile with Venus. This is what we really need to be able to kind of see our way forward. There's a revision of sorts that's going on, and it's our way forward is going to be through action, but deeply intuitive action. Okay, the truth used to be out there, right? X-Files, the truth is out there. Right. But now it's a moving target. What is an intuitive astrologer with a slightly mystical outlook to do? Glad you asked. Trust the guides in your intuition. Keep your vibration high, okay? And carry on. Because this too shall pass, all right? And we will still be on target despite feeling these temporary setbacks. We can't help it because that's the way the flow's going. We're human. This is the way we're kind of like going along, right? The flow is going like this. If you're under the water, you get the undercurrent. You're going to go too fast, right? You will drown. Stay above. Keep your vibration high. All right? And that's all I can say to you. So, in a similarly happy vein, let's talk about this because in a letter to Jean-Baptiste Leroy, Benjamin Franklin writes, "In this world, nothing can be said to be certain except death and taxes," and that's where that comes from. And our birth is Robert Louis Stevenson, born in 1850, died in 1894. He's a Scottish novelist who wrote Treasure Island and The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, born in Edinburgh, Scotland. And that's a really good example of somebody that's literary, that was very prolific and very fast, and definitely not AI. It is said that The Strange Case of Jekyll and Hyde was a result of a fever dream, and he wrote it down roughly in 3 days, presented it to his wife. He had tuberculosis, so he's been, just in ill health anyway, and she hated it. He threw it in a fire, but then he rewrote it in 8 days because she had doubts about it, and she usually was right about her doubts. And he wrote it straight down. It was just a straight story, and she was like, nope, it has to have these elements in it. And he rewrote it in 8 days. All handwritten, a literary masterpiece. So there you go. We contrast the AI with the literary, the person with whatever that other stuff is called, right? And that's all I have for you. Thank you so much for listening. Appreciate and love every single one of you. I know. Not all these days are great, right? And that just happens. I'm sorry. But today's a 3. Happy astrocatting.